Over the long holiday weekend, my wife and I puppy sat for Henry, a 4-month-old golden doodle. And this got me thinking. Puppies and podcasts have a few things in common.
And now, a look at what's trending in the podcast world and how it can help your show. It's the Jag Show Podcast.
When you start a podcast, you probably have the exuberance of a puppy. Henry has a habit of bouncing when he walks. He's very excited and he's very cute. But at some point, you need to learn how to walk. And you can learn that by observing other podcasters. Our cousin, Henry's owner, said on walks he just kind of plopped down on the sidewalk. But when we walked our 10-year-old coonhound Jules, Henry would follow her around. Like, well, a puppy dog. The added bonus, 3+ miles of walking per day, makes for a very tired and thus very well-behaved pup. You may have a plan for your podcast, but in the early goings, you may have to change course. The plan was for Henry to sleep in a crate in our bedroom. But his first night with us, this generally well-behaved pup screamed and cried and barked from 11 p.m. until 1 a.m. Now, I'm sure some neighborhood fireworks didn't help, but around 1:15 a.m., we called an audible. Henry would sleep in our bed all week. Sorry to his mom and dad if you're listening. I'm sure he learned some bad habits here at Camp Jules. Bottom line, you may think you know what your podcast is going to be, but if it's not working, it's okay to change, even after you've launched. Then there were the puppy teeth. Who knew they were so sharp? Yes, they hurt when he nipped at my ankles, and yes, those first few podcast mistakes may leave a mark. But outside something drastic or way outside the realm of common sense, you weren't going to destroy anything in your first few episodes. No matter how hard Henry went at those deer antlers or those stuffies, he didn't cause any real damage. It's okay as a new podcaster to be teething. At the end of the day, your podcast needs a lot of attention, and you're still figuring out your new world. But the more time and more care you put into it, the better your results. You might need constant reminders about mic technique and avoiding tangents. The podcast equivalent of, don't eat that, and don't pee on that. Later.
The most popular ways to grow a podcast are recommendations of friends and family. So share this episode with someone you know. And for any questions you have about podcasts, find Jag online at jagindetroit.com.